Hello everyone. What we have here today is the famous and very rare Atari PC1. You can see the yellowed by the years keyboard, full XT keyboard. Um, just after the ST series, Atari decided to enter the IBM compatible market, and the PC1 was the first attempt. You can see now, this is amazing. This is a UK specs keyboard model, big flaps to make it better to work with and easier. You can see the original color at the bottom side and how it's yellowed by time um, on the top, and again the same pattern for the bottom. You can see the original color for the bottom of the desktop, the machine itself. That was the original color. At the back we can see several connections: external floppy, parallel serial mouse, and power switch. What was interesting in this machine is that it has a onboard video display which uses some micro switches, so you can use EGA, CGA or Hercules monochrome just by moving the switches to certain positions. I like this computer very much. It was very light and slimline, very nice design. Again, the box and the chassis from Mega ST4. The battery compartment is not even possible to open it now. It's not used for the PC. It is probably a leftover from the Mega ST, which actually had the batteries for backup purposes back in the day. Now the PC1 boots up, and I'm happy. It works. This is going to be more like a review, a very short review for the system, rather than a repair or fix or anything. Starting MS-DOS. This is probably the only diskette I could find around here. The PCM 124 Amber monitor with full 12 inches was a standard, and this is what I have, a complete package. So let's see how this works today, and let's open it up and check the motherboard and other aspects over this rare machine. Okay, now it's been reset to the first screen. We can see that is the standard version, 512 kilobytes of RAM. The error just indicates that we haven't connected the keyboard yet. And here is the main board, the motherboard in its full glory. Not much you could do as an upgrade for this machine. You can see the empty spaces, the sockets there waiting for some more RAM, which could be up to 640 kilobytes maximum. And back there we can see an empty socket waiting for the 8087 math coprocessor next to the 8088 CPU. At the back, no slots at all. Nothing you can do to upgrade with another video card, another sound card, or whatever. By the way, the sound, it's one channel bip in this case, but everything is on board. It has its own EGA, CGA, Hercules video card on board. Good enough for starters. Single speaker. I have to glue it up somehow back in its original position. and that was pretty much what it was. That's why supposedly it came as a budget PC, around $700, if I remember this right, initial price, which was quite good price compared to the compatibles you could find out in the markets back in '87. So that was a good approach by Atari, but at the same time you could only do a few things to upgrade your RAM, maybe the coprocessor, and then you relied on external solutions for a second floppy or an external hard disk drive, and nothing you can do inside the box. And that was a real disadvantage. I have placed a floppy disk inside the drive. I can see it goes slowly. I don't think this is readable. After all these years, probably there's a fault, some damage on the disk. I do not have many disks to test today, just a few. Maybe we're lucky. I can see the numeric lock, caps lock, and the keyboard works. Scroll lock, yeah, the lids are working, so the keyboard works fine. But although I press the buttons, nothing can be read, and you can tell by the speed that this is not right. Something is wrong with the disk. The disk must be damaged. So let me swap the disks, and let's see. I got plenty, but I don't know if they're okay. So let's see if we can find something to really run something on this machine tonight, and see what it can do. A big 525 floppy by Chinon was a standard back in the day. You could find most of the computers, the compatibles back in the day, having one or maybe two of those. But the difference was great. I mean, the price was getting higher. If you decided to go with a system with two floppy drives, then you could pay a small fortune. So now I can see it works better with this disk. Let's hope this can be loaded. The Atari machine came with MS-DOS, of course, into the package, along with GW Basic back then, and with GEM, Write and GEM Paint, Atari software together as a standard. So you could start being productive from day one. Now let's see, I think this one goes okay, and yes, we have a system disk from 1988 based on the date coming right up on our screen, and it's good to know that at least this disk works, and we can put the machine up. And let me try to find another disk, possibly some game or application to test further. And what would be greater than this game, Laser Suit Larry version 1 by Sierra, MS-DOS original discs. I hope this works. I hope this really works, and test the machine and finalize this review. So first disk is inside, then the second disk is needed. I guess the play disk is A, so let me put back the other disk and see what happens. I like this machine. Atari came back with several modifications later on, introduced the PC3 based on the 8088 8 megahertz CPU again, but there was a 20 megabyte hard drive included. Then they came up with PC4, which is actually was the 286 at 16 megahertz base system with 60 megabytes of hard disk drive. You could also fit a 1.4 megabyte floppy on this 286 machine. And then they came up with PC5 that was even faster at 20 megahertz, and that was the 386 machine back in the day, featuring 60 megabytes of hard disk space and Super VGA graphics. So after that, there was nothing new out in the markets from Atari. It was quite a success. You cannot tell it was a big failure or something. Back in the States, it was okay, not good to the rest of the world, though. Maybe in the UK, but yeah. Back then it was Amstrad dominating the markets with good specs, good price. So for the most part, we're talking about Europe now. Back in the late 80s, yeah, it was probably Amstrad to dominate the markets, and yeah, it was a huge success. Therefore, this Atari PC 1, 2, 3, 4 has seen limited success in Europe. But again, it started as a very nice, good-looking machine, which gave you no space to upgrade. Only the standard specifications you could find on board. You couldn't do anything with the video card, or you could not get above the 640 kilobytes of RAM, for example, and there was and it was limited even inside the box. The whole thing might be nice, and I mean, for your test and for your office, but with very limited space to do whatever, and maybe upgrade it and put another hard disk, another floppy disk inside, or another a hard disk inside, or things like that. So yeah, it actually had this drawback or disadvantage. So it has seen limited success after all. As you can see, playing around the initial questions that Larry comes up with, so they can see that we are adults and we can play this game after all. It was a good era for gaming. It was a good era for computer manufacturers. You could find pretty much of everything out in the markets back then, and there was this race that has begun with the introduction of the first IBM PC, then the clones from China, and then you name it. The story goes so far, like up to nowadays, maybe. Not much I can say more for this machine. Again, introduced back in 1987. It was the presentation, the review of the Atari PC1. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you liked it. Consider subscribing, and I'll be catching you soon with another video, another machine, another review, another repair, hints and tips. What I like most about these machines is that it gives you the ability to power them up after several years and travel back in time for a while, and yeah, this is what I like to do, and yeah, hope you enjoyed. And yeah, I'll be catching you soon with another video. I'm gonna wrap this up now. I'm gonna close the box and put it back in my collection. I hope you enjoyed also some pictures of Leisure Suit Larry, the very first version by Sierra. That was the only game I had. I wish I had more, and I wish we could make this review better and bigger, but I guess it's okay for now. And thanks again. I'll see you around with another system really soon. Thanks for watching. Bye and have a nice day.